of stubbornness, tantrums? Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to Alka's Space. So when a child throws tantrum, this particular kind of behavior becomes a challenge for parents. But let me tell you, this behavior is completely normal. Every child on this planet does this. My children are also like this. And when we were kids, we were also like this. It's just that we forget when we grow up. Yes, when we grow up, we forget the behavior. Similarly, when our children will grow up, this behavior will gradually fade away. It's just about dealing with this behavior properly and not letting this behavior continue to later childhood or adulthood. Firstly and most important, do not let yourself affected by what others say. People judge, let them. People comment, let them. Just focus on your child and focus on this thing that this behavior should not continue till adult. This behavior is completely normal. I'm telling you again and again. Do not panic, do not take stress of this kind of behavior. It's just that dealing with this kind of behavior patiently, calmly, and I'm going to tell you few techniques, few tips in this video that how you can deal with this stubborn child, how you can deal with the tantrums by not losing your patience, by not losing your temper. Okay, so continue till end, continue watching till end, because I'm going to give you very important and very beneficial tips that how to deal with a tantrum, how to deal with stubborn children. It is just like that kids are experimenting. It is not at all a bad thing. Babies and toddlers, they have a kind of curiosity, and curiosity to explore, curiosity to learn, curiosity to try new things. So when a baby when it starts crawling, finds a new independence, he starts moving from one corner of the house to another, and gradually when the baby is able to stand up and walk on his own, he again moves to the house. He again starts moving more quickly to every corner of the house. He or she tries to reach the shelves above the height. He tries to open the drawers. He tries to do everything because it is the human nature. The human nature is to explore. The human nature is to be curious. So first thing, that if your child does this when he or she is 6 months old, or when he or she is crawling, when he or she is trying to achieve a new milestone, please do not stop your baby. Do not stop your child from exploring. Let the child explore. Let the child be curious. Let the child learn. Try to experiment with the new things. Let them enjoy the newly found independence. This is the part of their development, and gradually when these milestones are achieved, a child is developing fine motor skills, gross motor skills, and we should not stop them from doing so. Gross motor skills and fine motor skills are an important part of development. And as parents and as teachers, we must do efforts to develop those skills. So this is about skills. I have a complete playlist on how to develop fine motor skills and gross motor skills on my channel. You can go to the link that is given in the description box and find out all the activities that can be done to enhance these skills of toddlers. So let's come to tantrums. Likewise, a child is trying to achieve the milestones. A child is trying to explore new things. Similarly, a child is also learning to have feelings. Yes, a child does not know about feelings. A child does not know how it is to express his or herself. How a child expresses. Babies express by crying. They cry louder. They cry their lungs out to express themselves. They cry louder to gain the attention. So this is the way how they express. And when the child starts, growing, a child is growing gradually, he or she is still learning about feelings. He is not emotionally mature as we are. And this is pretty normal because our brain is structured like this only. we gradually learn about feelings, we gradually learn about how to express our emotions. So it is completely normal if a child throws tantrum because he is not able to express as we are able to express. He or she does not know how to capture your attention, how to capture anybody else's attention. So first thing, before moving ahead, I would like to make it clear that throwing tantrums is pretty normal. Do not panic, do not be stressed. At the same time, children do not know how to be sad, they don't know how to be happy, they don't know how to be jealous. They just express their emotions differently. I'm saying it again. And it happens within almost every household. Every parent, talks about this, that if you will say no to your child, then the urge to do that very thing increases. You are saying no, you are resisting the child to do that, and he will experiment, he will explore that there must be something that I need to know, but my parents are saying no. So this is a kind of curiosity behind this kind of behavior. See, every child's personality is different. Every child's, even not even child, every person's personality is different. Some are shy, some are introverts, some are expressive, some are aggressive, some are extremely extrovert. And when we talk about kids, some children are strong-willed, and we call them as stubborn. It's not like that this stubbornness will persist till adulthood. People usually comment that your child is so stubborn, you are going to suffer when he or she grows up. Do not pay attention to these things. These are just comments. These are just talk. Yes, we cannot change the basic nature of a person. Every person's nature is different and we all have a basic nature. But what we can do is we can monitor our child's behavior and we can work on how a child learns. If this strong-willed nature, please note, strong-willed nature persists till adulthood in a positive way, you can very well you can very well judge. Yes, you can very well judge that how your child is going to be when he or she grows up. Strong willingness is very, very important in these days. You need to be strong-willed to do something. You need to have focus. You need to have concentration. And if you are not strong-willed, you are not able to achieve your goal. So take this thing positively. Work on this thing, that how to positively carry this strong willingness towards later childhood and then adolescence age and then later adulthood. Your child will learn through this, and do not panic. This, it is not like it is something about bad parenting and there is any kind of flaw in your parenting. This behavior is normal. Your duty as a parent is to just monitor and make sure that the child learns properly, a child develops the skills that are needed in the life ahead. I'm saying it again, do not let yourself push into all this. We are adults and we know how to regulate our emotions. If we'll get stressed, if we'll get distracted with what others say, if we lose our temper with our child's behavior, then how we are going to deal with these tantrums? So behave like a mature person, behave like an adult. We know how to regulate our emotions, and we must do this when we are dealing with this kind of behavior of our children. So let's talk about how to deal with it, what to actually do when our child throws tantrums. The first tip, the first technique that I usually apply with my kids is distraction. Distraction is the tried and tested technique. I use it almost 10 times a day. Children are like this. They throw tantrums, they they show strong willingness towards a particular thing, towards a particular task. They want to get something. What I usually do is I try to divert their attention to something else. I redirect them. And this, you have to, be very creative. You need to keep on thinking that what to do and what not to do at that very moment. If this technique, the distraction, does not work, then next is ignore. Ignore this behavior many times. Let your child realize that this kind of behavior does not work. Yes, because children are very smart. They know how to get things out of their parents. They know how to get the things done. When you ignore, you are giving a message that this kind of behavior, their tantrums, their stubbornness are not laying any kind of impact on you. So stay calm. Yes, this technique requires a lot of patience and calmness. Practice this. When there is a meltdown in public, yes, there are situations when our child, cries, our child throws tantrums in public, and it becomes quite embarrassing for parents to deal what to do and what not to do. Firstly, when you are in market, I do not take my kids to the market, because I avoid going to the market. I avoid going to the public places where I know there are chances of this kind of behavior. I usually avoid taking my children to such places. But yes, there are times that we have to take them along. If you are going to buy, if you think there is a need to buy the particular thing from the market, there is a need to get, then please get this before your child starts throwing tantrums. If you will get them the things after their meltdown, after their lots and lots of tantrums, lots and lots of cries, then you are giving a message that this is the way he or she can get the things done from your side. Children are very smart. They are observant. They experiment a lot, and you clearly give a message that if child is going to cry, if you are going to cry, if you are going to throw the tantrums in front of public, if you are making your parents embarrassed in front of public, this is the easiest way to get anything from the parents. So please understand this point. Try to avoid these kind of situations. Try to avoid taking your children to such places. If you cannot avoid, then please try to divert their attention to something else. Keep your phone aside, keep your gossips aside, and pay attention to your children, what they are up to, what they are observing. And the minute you observe that your child is looking at something that you cannot buy, then please try to divert the attention and get the child away from that place silently, calmly, away from the. Third is avoid saying no too often. Children never like being told what to do and what not to do. Constant use of word no also leads your child resist you. About it, how many times do you say no to your child in a day? Times, 20 times, 300 times? Yes. As long as your child is not hurting herself or others, she is safe physically, she is safe mentally, please do not say no. Avoid saying no to your child. Now what to do? Again, come back to point number 1. Try to distract. Try to divert the attention to something else. Avoid saying no. Do not say, avoid using word and or no too often in a day. Try to divert the attention. This is what I do, and just be creative on that. For example, my kids are fond of playing with water. As winters are going on, I cannot allow them to play with water too often, because it is not safe for them. I do is I try to divert their attention to the maximum extent I can, because there is always an urge to wash hands. There is always an urge to wash that handkerchief in the hand. So what I try to do is I try to keep them busy with myself, so that they do not get themselves towards water again and again. And believe me, it happens almost 10 times in a day that they go to the tap and open it and start washing their hands. But if I'll say no, they'll start behaving negatively. Sometimes there is something what I observe is that my daughters speak very harshly with me, very rudely with me. So why should I let them do this? It is better to divert their attention. It's better to distract them and redirect them to something else. Yes, it becomes necessary to say no whenever the situation demands. It is not like that. Do not say no and no at all. Say no, but avoid using this word as much as you can. Try to connect with your child. Most of the children today are seen stuck with their phones. We don't have anything else to offer them. Why? Because we don't have time. We don't have time to sit with them. We don't have time to talk to them. We don't have time to play with them. So the only option left to avoid the tantrums, to avoid the cries, in almost every other house, what we see is the child is busy with either phone or TV. It brings a kind of silence in the house, kind of so-called mental peace to parents, that okay, the child is busy, he is not disturbing me, he is not crying, he is not doing anything that is not desirable. This thing is indirectly affecting how your child is behaving when he is not with the phone. He finds that phone is the only companion at home. What I observe on daily basis, that when I am busy with one thing or the another, important or not important, whatever it may be, my daughter looks for the phone. She always tries to find out where the phone is lying, and she insists us to unlock that phone, because she is getting bored, she is not finding anything to play. When I am sitting with both of them, I am there with them playing, talking, reading or doing anything else. Believe me, about looking for it, my daughter doesn't even remember that there is something like phone. It's what I experience every day. Whenever I am spending time with them, whenever I am making them my priority, that is the time I find best, that my daughters never throw tantrums, they never show negative behaviors. So my appeal to parents is, please try to prioritize children in your life. Yes, some parents are busy with their jobs, their own responsibilities, but whenever you get time, please leave your phone aside, leave your social media things aside, leave your social circles aside, you leave your friends aside. Please give time to your child. Your child is the most important asset that you are having. So please do not let this time slip away, and do not waste this time so that you regret when they grow up. That when we look back, we usually say, oh, we have wasted so much time, we could not spend time with our children. But it is all about priority. Please give priority to your children. Prioritize your child's development. You will automatically see that these tantrums, these stubbornness will fade away gradually. We scream and we teach them to yell to scream. Try to control your own emotions. If we can't control our feelings, if we can't how to express ourselves, then how do we expect a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old to do what we want them to do? We as adults cannot regulate ourselves. How can we expect children to regulate their emotions? Being aggressive yourself shows that how you expect your child to behave. You expect your child to be polite with you, but what do? We always scream, we always yell at them, and this is what we are teaching them directly, that how to behave with elders, that how to behave with other people. For a while, just think, don't we have emotions? Don't we want to express our emotions? Don't we want to cry sometimes? Don't we want to shout sometimes? Haven't you ever felt like crying loudly? Haven't you ever felt like expressing yourself in publics? Haven't you ever felt like throwing out your all this negativity out of your body, so that you can have some peace? Also helps in venting out the emotions out. So why do you expect your child to emotions inside? If you often want to express yourself, why can't we allow our child to express himself? So when a child throws tantrums, do not reciprocate. Reciprocating is a child is yelling, a child is shouting, and you are shouting louder. You teaching that child. You are teaching that shouting is okay. Shouting is the only way to correct somebody. Shouting is the only way to mend behavior. Lead by example. This calmness is the behavior that you want your child to exhibit. To regulate your own emotions, know what it is about to feel. They just express themselves differently, but we know how to express, so we can teach them express by behaving the way we expect them to behave. Alright. Sixth tip is keep the items in your home away from the child's reach, which you think that your child is likely to break or damage. Your children are children, they are not adults. How would they know that this thing is harmful for them, this thing is going to break? We know there's a difference between glass and plastic, we know that there's a difference between wood and iron. How can we expect a 2-year-old to know that there's a difference between glass and plastic, that glass will break and plastic will not break? What we can do is we can keep these things, we can keep those things which our kids are likely to damage, keep them away from our child's reach. There is a prescription on medicine bottles, keep out of the reach of children. We do that. So why can't we do with other items also? If you love your precious belongings, keep them in a safe place, in a closed almirah till your child grows up. Limit your child's access to these things. You will automatically see a difference in your child's behavior, because if he or she is not going to see that particular thing, you will not be he'll not throw tantrums, he'll not show stubbornness, and ultimately you will not say no. This is one idea to avoid saying no. Keep your belongings, keep those things which are your kids are likely to break or damage out of there. Seventh is mean what you say. Saying something to your child, be true to the highest possible extent. Are very good observers. They will find out very quickly that you are lying and you are not being true to that true to your child. Vocabulary we use with our toddlers backs what they speak. Do not try to lie to your child. Do not there is a word in Punjabi, lare lagana. Lare lagana is quite common in Indian households, but it is better not to lie with your children. Be true to yourself, mean what you say. If you want your child to follow the set rules, you need to practice them first. As I said before, practice the behavior you want your child to exhibit. Next, the 8th point is set boundaries. Let your child know the limits. Let your child know the boundaries from the very first day. Explain this with the help of an example. What happens when a child uses something inappropriate in the language? When a child uses some undesirable word, really laugh because it looks cute. And whatever he is speaking, it always looks cute. We don't stop that child that very moment. What we do is we usually motivate that child to do this again and again. Child grows up. When the child uses that very language, when the child uses that very vocabulary with you, then you feel like, oh, what we can do. Like nice slap to your child, then you feel like yelling at your child, you feel like punishing your child. Who is responsible for this kind of behavior? We. Because we used to laugh at that time. We used to think, oh, this is so sweet that your child is using this word. When the child learns to use this word regularly, then you feel uncomfortable in front of people. Then it is embarrassing for you when the child uses this kind of language in the public. Please try to limit the boundaries. Try to make your child understand that yes, these are the boundaries, this is the kind of language we are going to use, this is the kind of vocabulary the child is expected to use in front of parents, in front of friends, in front of everybody. This is where we sow the seeds of inappropriate behavior. Children observe us, they imitate us. How we behave with each other as adults directly gives our children a clue to behave with us, talk to us. They actually test our boundaries, our limits, and on the basis of those things they exhibit their behavior. So please set boundaries. Do not let your child cross the boundaries. Is not just getting kids listen, it is how we pass our core values to them. Punishment is not a synonym to discipline, and it is not forcing our child to share, to eat, or to play a particular game. Yes, it is our responsibility, but is to teach them skills, the skills that are needed to be kind, to be respectful to themselves and others. Adopt a routine and simply tell your child to do the same. Telling means behave. Your children will follow you if you are going to follow a routine. Your children follow you, how you behave, how you live your life. They learn from you. So stubbornness is not a problem or a characteristic that can be a way to judge that what a child is going to be when he or she grows up. Instead, deal with these behavior patterns. This is a phase and this shall. Our responsibility is to work on making our children responsible and respectful. Stubbornness will fade away with time if you deal with this with patience and calmness. If you have liked the video, please give a thumbs up and stay connected for more and more informative videos, simple tips and techniques to deal with the day-to-day problems in life. I'll bring you the easiest possible solutions. So please subscribe to the channel and do not forget to give a thumbs up and share this video. Thank you and have a nice day.